Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Why do we love this sport? We love it because of the surprises and the, oh my God sort of moments that it can give. And one of them occurred during the welterweight British and Commonwealth fight between Harry Scarf, who was the champion, defending champ, and Conah Walker, the challenger. Horrible Harry Scarf, called for a reason because his style will just frustrate the hell out of you. He won, I think after 10 rounds, I had it 8-2 up for Scarf. He's 31 years old. His previous fight, he'd actually fought Karen Chikadzian in some sort of eliminator. Chikadzian went on to face Boots Ennis, lost for a second time. But that was over in Germany, and Harry lost. But he lost a competitive fight to Chikadzian. Prior to that, he'd won the British and Commonwealth titles from Echo Esserman, who was previously undefeated. And Echo Esserman I think he's won an Lonsdale belt outright, and that was about his fourth or fifth title defense or something like that. Echo Esserman was an established champion, and Scarf beat him, and Scarf came in to the fight with Walker, 13 wins, 3 defeats, never stopped, only 3 KOs in the wins column. And like I say, after 10 rounds, I had him 8-2 up. But then Conah Walker, who came in with 14 wins, 5 KOs, 3 defeats, never stopped, and 1 draw, 29 years old, from West Midlands, from Wolverhampton. He was last seen outpointing Lewis Ritson in November of last year. It was back in the last year. And he was the underdog. And in that 11th round, he just, having lost most of the first 10 rounds, he found that Hail Mary punch that some fighters dream of. As usual, or horrible Harry Scarf, listed as orthodox on BoxRec, but he looked like a southpaw to me, or maybe he was switch hitting. I don't know. Maybe I was watching the telly upside down or something. But anyway, as usual, he was sort of being busier, nitpicking away, flash and dash, moving his feet, slipping and sliding, and Walker just found an almighty, very sort of quick, deceptively quick right hand, which landed bang on Scarf's jaw and had him, all at sea. And you could see the sort of bones in his body sort of turned to rubber, and he was near the ropes. He fell back, and then Scarf jumped on him, landed Conah Walker jumped on him, landed a combination, which was finished by another right hand on I think it was top of the head maybe, and down goes Scarf. And Scarf manages to get up. He does not look in good condition, but he seems to have a wherewithal about him, But I don't think his legs were quite there. And of course, Walker chases after him, realizing this is his chance to turn his dreams into reality. Bangs Scarf around. Scarf is on the ropes, covering up. He's not firing a great deal back. Walker is landing, and then Scarf sort of fell forward. I don't mean fell as in, was about to hit the floor. He sort of fell in, if you know what I mean, and came off the ropes. And the referee stepped in and stopped the fight in favour of Walker. So it was a massive come-from-behind victory for Conah Walker. Tony Bellew on DAZN commentary duty, or I think he was the studio analyst, he said he felt it was a premature stoppage. Maybe a little bit. I wouldn't rule it out, but I can't take anything away from Conah Walker because for 10 rounds he was second best. And from earlier on in the fight, maybe the third round, he had quite a nasty abrasion under was it his right eye? I think it was his right eye. And it looked like the eye might shut, but it didn't. It didn't get any worse, fortunately. I mean, you have to credit the corner for keeping it under control. But he just couldn't quite find any kind of timing. And Scarf was horrible. Harry Scarf, I don't want to belabor the point, but I mean, he's horrible. It's horrible to fight against because it's constant movement, constant slipping, takes the piss a bit. After one of the middle rounds, I think Walker, he sort of took the piss out of Walker after the bell, and Walker sort of hit him with a with the right hand, well, sort of hit him. You know what I mean? It was a bit of a cross between a punch and a pat. And then there was another incident, the eighth, roughly the eighth, ninth round, where Scarf went onto the floor, and for some reason he lay on his back. Oh, you know, look, I'm injured. He wasn't injured at all. And the referee said, get up, get up, get up. So he can be an irritating guy to watch, Scarf. But you have to give him credit for boxing very, very well and containing Walker and keeping him totally off balance and not allowing him to do, to get his shots off cleanly. There was, I think, at the end of the eighth round, Walker did land a very good, again, it was a right hand, I think, over the top, which right at the end of the round, it pushed Scarf back. But Scarf actually replied with the 2 or 3 seconds that were left with some decent punches of his own. He's only got 3 KOs on his record, but it didn't look as if Scarf was ever really troubled by Walker's power. And like I say, in 14 wins coming in, Walker had 5 KOs, so it doesn't indicate that he's a big one-punch power guy. Mid last year, he lost to Lewis Crocker over 10. He's also lost to Kane Gardner over 8. And his first defeat was over 10 to Samuel Antwi, and that was back in 2022. So in the last 3 years roughly, or maybe a little less than 3 years, he has lost 3 times at English and British level. But he did have that win over Ritson. He did score a 3-round knockout over the previously undefeated Lloyd Germain. And he also retired Cyrus Patterson after 8 rounds. That was a good win. Patterson was undefeated. So it was always, if you analyse his record, there was always a hint that Walker was British level. And you couldn't knock the quality of his opposition because he wasn't given anything. As he said in his post-fight interview, he'd done things the hard way, and he had as well. And as we've said before so many times on this channel, those defeats on points, they can only be negatives if you don't learn from them. And I don't think, I can only speculate, this is pure conjecture, but if Walker hadn't had those tough fights, some of which he lost earlier on, mixed in with, victories against undefeated fighters, if he hadn't been through all that, would he have lost heart in this fight? Because he was a mile behind after 10 rounds. But he did it. He's the British and Commonwealth welterweight champ. And yeah, did it the hard way, didn't he? Terrifically dramatic thing to see. Whenever you get these come from behind victories, they're always incredible, aren't they? They sort of remind you why you love the game. You know what I mean? So did you watch this fight? If not, go and have a look at it. It's not really the most exciting of fights for the first 10 rounds. It's okay. But it's Harry Scarf doing what Harry Scarf does, and Walker just sort of trundling after him and hoping to land a big punch. And he did land it in the 11th round, got the job done. But let me know what you think. Who would you put Conah Walker in with next? Would you have him defend the British or the Commonwealth or both? I don't know. Maybe, let me think now. How about maybe a fight with Esserman? Esserman was a good champ and lost to Scarf, so maybe he deserves another chance. Or will he jump up to EBU level? Let me know. Give me your opinions. And thanks very much for your time, for watching the video. If you liked it, please hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, and you could subscribe, it takes a second, cost you nothing, and you're helping the channel out. Thank you very, very much, ladies and gentlemen. More to come later on today. Bye for now.